Hey everyone, welcome back to Caroline in the Kitchen. Today we are making one of my all-time faves, curry chicken the traditional Jamaican style way. I am in the kitchen with my mother-in-law Beverly and she's going to be chefing it up for us today. But before we get started, please be sure to subscribe to this channel if you're not already subscribed. Now let's get into it. So before we clean our chicken, I want to show you the technique she uses to cut the chicken. So first, she is making sure to remove any skin from the chicken as well as any fat. Then she cuts a line around the meat and bones, creating this incision in the meat. And then she chops down on the bone precisely, and she cuts each piece of meat anywhere between 2 to 4 pieces. The great thing about this is it opens up the flesh of the meat to really take in all of the lovely seasonings we're going to add, which creates even greater depth of flavor. It also allows for more pieces of meat to be distributed. If you are not good with knives, you can request for them to cut it at your local grocery store. But here are some chicken thighs and chicken legs, and we're using about 10 to 12 pieces of meat in total and then cutting them into smaller pieces. So she's just draining all the liquid and discarding the skin, and we're ready to clean and wash. So she uses this lemon juice. You can also use fresh lemon or vinegar, and she just pours this in the bowl and washes and drains with water several times under the sink. Now that we have cleaned our chicken, we can get into seasoning. So you're going to need about 1 tablespoon of all-purpose or complete seasoning. She also added about 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of ground black pepper, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of ginger, half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 tablespoon of curry powder, and she's using the traditional Jamaican curry powder. And you're going to mix that all and make sure to integrate all the flavors. Just be careful because curry stains. So if you have white nail polish or something, you might want to wear some gloves for this step. Also, all the ingredients and the complete recipe and instructions will be linked in the description box of this video. If you are liking what you see so far, please give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comment section what other Caribbean recipes you would like to see on this channel. Peel and mince 5 to 6 garlic cloves. My mother-in-law says that she loves to do everything from scratch because she said that's how she was taught growing up. Plus, using fresh ingredients always tastes better. I'm more new school, so sometimes I take shortcuts in my cooking, but I always enjoy her cooking because it's fresh, flavorful, and the authentic Jamaican way. Let me know in the comment section if you're more of an old school cook that prepares everything from scratch, or if you're more new school sometimes like me. Fellow new schoolers who may sometimes be in a rush, you can just throw in a tablespoon of this pre-minced garlic into the pot. Now let's prepare some more of our fresh ingredients. We are going to roughly chop about half of a white onion. Then we are going to rinse and peel about 2 stalks of the green onion. So the dry seasonings are not enough. You really want to add some fresh ingredients to elevate the dish to the next level. Then she takes about a small handful of thyme and washes it, and these are our fresh ingredients. She is also going to peel and dice about 2 medium to large size white potatoes. This is going to help thicken up our curry sauce a bit by adding that starchy element and also just adding more substance to the dish. Now you're going to put a pot on the stove. I have it on high heat. This is an authentic Dutch pot from Jamaica, so it's super thick and locks in the flavor. If you're on the East Coast of the US, you might be able to find one of these at your local Caribbean store. Now you're going to add about 2 tablespoons of your choice oil. Today she is using corn oil, and she is adding her minced garlic to the pot and going to let this saute until it starts to develop that golden brown color. So you want to leave the garlic here to cook for a couple minutes and release all of its juices into the oil. Then when it's golden brown, you can prepare to add some curry seasoning to the pot. Here she is adding about 2 tablespoons of curry seasoning. Then she is going to allow the seasoning to cook down with the garlic and brown for a couple more minutes. One of my favorite things about curry chicken is it's one of the quicker Jamaican dishes to make. I'll show you that it only takes about 25 to 30 minutes from start to finish. She chooses to mix two different types of curries on this step because she has a lighter curry and a darker curry. This is optional and not required. Then she gives it a stir to make sure all the flavors are evenly distributed, and she pours all her chicken into the pot to brown and cook down. The next step is to carefully mix all of the pieces of the chicken within the curry seasoning. And you want to make sure that every inch of the chicken is coated with the curry base that we've created. Don't rush this part, but just take your time and make sure that everything is distributed evenly. Next, we are going to add allspice. You only need a small handful, and these are also referred to as pimento seeds. Then you want to cover the pot and allow it to cook for about 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, you want to make sure you stir everything again so that the chicken doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot. The chicken is still in the process of releasing its natural liquids, so you just have to be a little bit patient and gradually check on it and work it with your spoon as the cooking process progresses. The heat and pressure from the pot, especially when it's covered, is going to help produce a steamy environment for the chicken to make its own sauce. As you can see, 5 minutes later, we removed the cover and the chicken had formed its own water. We will be adding a little more water to this, but this is a great start. So now it's time for us to add our fresh ingredients, the onions and thyme. It's so important to keep mixing everything as you go along, and don't forget to cover the pot back up once you're done. While that is cooking down, we're going to boil about half a cup of extra water and add that to the pot. Then you're going to cover the pot back up and let cook for about 8 minutes before you come back and add your potatoes. After the 7 to 8 minutes are over, you can add your potatoes and stir everything together. This recipe is super easy to make, and it's a traditional Jamaican dish. Historical fact, did you know that in the 17th century, indentured servants from India actually brought this spice to Jamaica, and since then it's been one of the staples of Jamaican culture. There are so many different types of curries depending on the island or location in the world you're from. So we're going to cover the pot one last time, lower the heat to medium-low, then let simmer for about 15 to 20 more minutes, and then your curry chicken is ready. Voila! This was so delicious. Try this recipe at home and let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if it's your first time on my channel, please do not forget to subscribe. Until next time, bye.